Hello there, it's another Wednesday night and another News Extra night. Let me again start by asking the Muslim Ummah, how is the Ramadan fast going? Well, on the News Extra tonight, it's quite exciting as Justice Zainab Bulkachua rescues self from the Presidential Election Tribunal and the Federal Executive Council holds valedictory session at the National Assembly. Both chambers dwell on security concerns as Navy celebrates 63 years of service. We have other stories on security issues, prominent among them being the president's vow to bring peace to Katsina State. Also in the package are economy stories, agri stories, plus infrastructure development stories. Well, this is just a bit of what's in the package tonight. For the full details, just stay with me. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan, and this is News Extra. President of the Court of Appeal, Justice Zainab Bulkachua, has stand down as the chairman of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. This was the ruling that emanated from the tribunal after arguments were taken on the application of the People's Democratic Party, PDP. Judicial correspondent Femi Okewo has that report.
It is one of the first motions to be taken by the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal in the People's Democratic Party's petition against the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari. The PDP had, through its counsel, Dr. Livy Ozoku, contended in its application that Justice Zainab Bulkachua, being married to an APC senator-elect and whose son contested the primaries of the Bauchi State APC governorship, may be perceived as having a likelihood of bias. The party therefore asked her to recuse herself from the panel. In their own argument, the three respondents, INEC, President Buhari, and the APC, said there was nothing in the law of the country that stopped her from being chairman of the panel. While Yunus Ustaz Usman, representing INEC, opposed the application, Wale Olanipekun, representing President Buhari, and Lateef Fagbemi, representing the All Progressive Congress, said it was a decision that can only be taken by Justice Zainab Bulkachua herself in the interest of the judiciary and her integrity. Given her ruling, Justice Zainab Bulkachua said that the applicants had not placed anything before the court to justify the application, but said that she would recuse herself as the chairman of the panel on personal grounds. Justice Zainab Bulkachua, however, still remains the president of the Court of Appeal. With this landmark decision done with, parties will subsequently be informed as to who replaces Justice Zainab Bulkachua on the five-man panel. There are 4 members who would remain, and the incoming member of the panel does not have to be the chairman. The chairman can still be nominated from any member of the panel that are remaining. From the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, Femi Okewo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari says the outgoing members of the Federal Executive Council have every reason to be proud of serving the nation to the best of their abilities, thereby guaranteeing their position in the history books of the country. Speaking at a valedictory session for the council members, the president appreciated them individually and collectively for bringing their unique skills and strengths to bear in building solid foundation for an improved economy as well as a more purposeful government. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that emotions were high as members recount their experiences.
It has been a journey through thick and thin. These 36 members of the Federal Executive Council began the journey from the 11th of November 2015 when they were sworn in as ministers, with 2 of them coming in as replacement for those that resigned for other assignments. Sadly, James Ocholi, one of the first set, died in a motor accident just 4 months after he was sworn in as minister.
You should be proud to have introduced
President Muhammadu Buhari, presiding over this last meeting of FEC, acknowledges the contributions of the ministers in bringing the nation back on its feet.
You should be proud to have been part of the government that liberated the local governments previously under Boko Haram rule. You should be proud to have contributed to our food security and economic diversification agenda, which led to the revival of our rural agrarian economy. You should be proud to have been part of the team that developed the economic recovery and growth plan. You should be proud to have introduced the social investment program that enhanced livelihoods of millions of Nigerians. You should be proud to have participated in settling outstanding pensions of many senior citizens abandoned by previous governments, while supporting state governments to meet their salary arrears. Of course, you should all be proud to have overseen the most ambitious road, rail, and airport rehabilitation programs in the history of our country.
And this is what Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has to say about the outgoing cabinet.
This has been an exceptionally patriotic and talented team. Everyone brought experience, knowledge, wisdom, and selflessness to council deliberations at all times. I treasure the friendships that we have built amongst ourselves and even amongst our family members.
The ministers, in turn, speak glowingly of the leadership quality of the president and the lesson learned from being in the cabinet.
President, when I talk about your institutional leadership, what I mean is that whenever I see what you are going through, then I consider my own problems a pastime.
We've done that with very many sacrifices. This is probably the first president that I will know who would have served 4 years. And I can attest that no oil block has been given to him, neither to me. I can also attest that there's no contract that he's shown any interest personally, neither have I.
Your consistency of character and style of leadership is exemplary. And this is what inspires us as Nigerians, even those who say are not your friends. Your Excellency, the Vice President, from you I have learned hard work and loyalty.
Well, this will be the last time the ministers will be coming together to take decisions in the council chambers. But they will still have to remain in office till the 28th of May before they hand over to the permanent secretaries of the various ministries. From the presidential villa in Abuja, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Chief of Defense Staff, General Abayomi Gabriel Oloni-Shaki, and the Acting Inspector General Police Mohammed Abubakar Adamu to constitute an assessment team to intervene immediately in the killings going on in Katsina State. The president, who received reports of recent killings in the state, expressed shock, assuring citizens that government will restore peace and stability. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, the President commiserated with the Governor and the people of Katsina State over their losses. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to the development of industrial zones in the country, reassuring investors that they have nothing to fear. This is sequel to an observation made by the Senate, which raises dust among investment partners. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has more on that.
At this meeting between Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and the investment partners, government reiterates its commitment to developing industrial parks in the country and the readiness to work with the private sector in achieving this objective. In February this year, President Muhammadu Buhari demonstrated this commitment when he presided over the signing of agreement between Nigerian Special Economic Zones Investment Company and its investment partners in respect of product made in Nigeria for export, which is a part of the country's broader industrialization agenda. As Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment Okechukwu Enelama says, $500 million have been raised for this project. But recently, there were some controversies around it because the Senate, during the budget process, asked questions about the company being used, whether it was properly constituted. And this gives rise to this meeting with the Vice President.
The Senate had raised a lot of dust and called for an investigation into what was happening in this company and whether this company had received the right approvals to actually go ahead, which the company had actually received the right approvals. But for the investors, that was something that they wanted to be sure that, like, from the point of view of the government, that this was something we were committed to. And so the Vice President gave them those assurances this morning and restated the government's commitment.
The development of the special economic zones is described as a good move to industrialize Nigeria and create jobs for the people. In the State House, Jude Onifade, NTA News.
In the last 4 years of the Buhari administration, Nigeria's diplomatic channels have provided the needed window for the government to engage the international community in delivering its change agenda to Nigerians. Now, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, has been looking back at some of the high points of Nigeria's diplomatic engagements. Foreign Desk correspondent Makut Simon Macham has that report.
For about 4 years now, Geoffrey Onyema has been on the saddle at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, driving the wheel of Nigeria's diplomacy. Together with the management and staff, the minister engaged the world, putting forward the policy thrust of the Buhari administration, anchored on security, economy, and the fight against corruption. These efforts created the ambience for President Muhammadu Buhari to engage his counterparts in different parts of the world and seek mutual cooperation in changing Nigeria's fortunes for good. In recapping the strategies adopted and energies exerted, the minister alluded to the fact that President Muhammadu Buhari's personal integrity made diplomatic engagements more result-oriented.
What all this does is it tells countries all around the world that Nigerian leadership, is ready and open for honest business, and that Nigeria is going in a totally different trajectory under this president, and that countries around the world should no longer see Nigeria as a pariah.
He also recalls how the president stood tall at the United Nations, African Union, the ECOWAS, and other multilateral and bilateral engagements, galvanizing international coalition in the fight against corruption and terrorism.
There was a conscious outreach to all the countries of the world that we felt were relevant to our security and our fight against terrorism.
The minister says more investments need to be made in training and retraining of Nigerian diplomats, while the ministry's funding should be adequate and released on time to avoid putting the nation's integrity and reputation in jeopardy. Now, despite some of the challenges that Nigerian diplomats go through in carrying out their duties, the minister believes they have done very well, and with little support and encouragement, they can do even better. In Abuja, Makut Simon Macham, NTA News.
Thank you, Makut. Now, have you ever been given a medical test result that is proven wrong after another test? Have you ever been treated for a wrong ailment because of faulty diagnostic equipment? Have you ever been given a hospital bill that you rub your head thinking of how to pay the bill? Now, to find answers to all these questions, inform the launch of the assessment checklist for federal tertiary hospitals in the country. Basi Itaipan, who was at the launch, tells us more.
Short video titled The Truth Point, showcasing the experiences of people from various parts of the country on some healthcare facilities, set the tone for the launch of the assessment checklist. With the launch of the checklist, the country is on the path to achieving 75% of accessing quality healthcare delivery within 2 hours by 2023, in line with WHO 2030 targets of 80%.
Now, these are the targets set by the World Health Assembly for countries to achieve by 2030. 80% of the country should have access within 2 hours to a center that can provide emergency surgical care.
The checklist, designed as a change product by Ministry of Health for improved healthcare system in the country, intends to improve confidence of Nigerians, accountability framework, quality and safety, as well as reduce medical tourism.
We should see quality as a fundamental human right to which every Nigerian is entitled to enjoy. And if we have that in mind, I think we will change the way and manner in which you do business.
Stakeholders in the healthcare sector who said the checklist is a right step in the right direction spoke on the state of healthcare facilities across Nigeria, challenges and the way forward. Basi Taikbang, NTA News.
Well, just early this month, the 2019 UN report on biodiversity concluded that an unprecedented decline in nature is threatening humanity. It said 1 million species of plants and animals around the world are now at risk of extinction, in part due to human activities. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the 2019 Biodiversity Day, which comes with the theme, Our Biodiversity, Our Food, Our Health. Correspondent Justice Bem Unyi reports on the need for bending the curve of biodiversity laws and also gives a highlight of biological resources constituting a capital asset with great potential for yielding sustainable benefits.
When you hear the word biodiversity, it is simply a term given to the variety of life on Earth and the natural patterns it forms. This explains the wide variety of plants, animals, and microorganisms that abound in the world. Research shows that without biodiversity, there would be no such diverse industries as agriculture, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals, just to mention a few. A recently released UN report says these variety of plants and animals are going into extinction, largely as a result of human activity.
In the last 100 years, records have shown that more than 90% of crop varieties have disappeared from farmers' fields. Half of the breeds of many domestic animals have been lost, and all of the world's 17 main fishing grounds are now being fished at or above their sustainable limits. Now, this calls for concern, and the experts are saying this is a dangerous thing.
Experts are now of the opinion that urgent and decisive actions are needed to conserve and maintain genes, species, and ecosystems. This is with a view to ensuring the sustainable management and use of biological resources, having it in mind that these resources are the pillars upon which human beings build civilization.
And immediately you have a shift in the equilibrium, we have chaos. So in biodiversity, we'll talk as an entomologist now. In the insects, we believe that insects are responsible for 80% of pollination of our crops. It means that if we kill them, it means we'll not have food on our tables.
2019's theme for the International Day for Biological Diversity is Our Biodiversity, Our Food, Our Health, which aims to leverage knowledge and spread awareness on the dependency of human food systems, nutrition, and health on biodiversity and health ecosystem.
Biosafety is to ensure that biodiversity is adequately protected, adequately conserved, and sustainably utilized.
In Abuja, Justin Bem-Unyi, NTA News.
Now, we earlier agreed that Nigerians are well known for being their brothers' keepers. Now, here is another case that lends credence to that assertion. Worried by the alarming rise in consumption of drugs in the country, some concerned citizens of like minds in Ogbomosho, under the auspices of Ogbomosho First Community Initiative, embarked on a rehabilitation center project for drug addicts and abused persons. It's over now to Larry Belei, who was at the inauguration of the center, and which is described as the first of its kind in the southwest of Nigeria.
Ogbomosho town in southwestern part of the country has always believed in carving a niche for itself. This time, the illustrious sons and daughters of the town came together under a banner they called Ogbomosho First Community Initiative to build a behavioral anonymous center.
This community has always built on the strength of its youths. Now, if the youths all become drug dependent, what happens to the future?
Identified the issue of drug use, substance abuse and addiction as a major problem that is not only a security problem, but it's a problem that can affect the leadership of our community.
And the reason why it's being called Behavioral Anonymous Center is because they want to protect persons that will be coming here for treatment from all kinds of labeling, maybe as a never-do-well drug addict or any form of stigmatization.
We've treated some cases of heroin and the injectables like pentazocine, petidine.
Getting those who are hooked out is much more expensive. Nigeria has been working more on taking the drug out of the street, which is cheaper than taking the addicts out of drug.
People as young as people just entering the secondary school or about leaving the primary school are abusing drugs.
The age group that's really affected by drug use in Nigeria is between 25 to 39 years. We're talking about people who should be at the peak of their productivity.
In conjunction with the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, the commissioning of the center afforded professionals in rehabilitation of drug abusers, traditional chiefs, security operatives to sound the alarm on how to nip in the bud urgently the rise in pervasive consumption of drugs. What you've just witnessed is the foundation laying ceremony of the permanent site of the Anonymous Behavioral Center. The people of Ogbomosho are grateful to the indigenes who have resolved not to relent in developing the area in all spheres. From Ogbomosho town, Larry Belei, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the reappointment of Yakubu Ibn Mohammed as the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, for a second term. A statement by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Gida Mustafa, states that the renewal of the DG's appointment is for a final period of 3 years and takes effect from 24th of May, 2019. You're watching News Extra. Up next, security matters take center stage as National Assembly re-strategize. That's the outlook when we return after the break.
The clock is ticking. It's the signal for the inauguration of the 16th President of Nigeria and 5th President in the 4th Nigerian Republic.
Nigerians are set to mark the beginning of the second term of Muhammadu Buhari as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The first term saw the most massive critical infrastructural development, agricultural revolution, war against corruption, tackling insecurity, and unprecedented social investment programs. Our opportunity to keep moving our country on the path to a prosperous future. It's the next level for the Nigerian people. This is our time as Nigerians. Come, let us celebrate the next level with Muhammadu Buhari, President and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Date, Wednesday, 29th May 2019. Venue, Eagle Square, Abuja. Time, 8 a.m. prompt. Roll out the drums. Come, let's celebrate.
Announcer Boss Gida Mustafa, Secretary to Government of the Federation and Chairman 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee.
Everybody's talking in all the cities and all the streets, in all the
people meet. From Niger to yonder, got you talking. You are the one that's falling to keep you talking. We got people talking. We've got people talking. Listen from east to the west to the south. Everywhere they come by, they know the mouth.
With 5 times bonus to call all networks on every recharge, we get you talking.
Keep talking.
Glow Unlimited.
Pursuant to our commitments towards improving the investment climate of the Nigerian telecom industry and sustaining a robust collaborative regulatory environment capable of addressing future challenges, the Nigerian Communications Commission hosts a special summit tagged Nigerian Telecoms Leadership Summit NLTS 2019. Dates: Thursday, May 23rd, 2019. Venue: Eko Hotel and Suites, Victoria Island, Lagos. Time: 9 a.m. prompt. Theme: Repositioning the Nigerian telecoms industry for future prospects and challenges. The summit presents a unique opportunity for the Commission to interact with key stakeholders. Special guest of honor, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Guests of honor, Chief Abdurrahim Adebayo Shitu, Mr. Akinwumi Ambode. Keynotes: Best Fit Infrastructure Investment Choice for an Emerging Market. Speaker, Dr. Mrs. Omobola Johnson. Panel discussion: Challenges facing the Nigerian telecom industry, way forward, and the role of the regulator.
This event is strictly by invitation. Professor Umar Garba Dambata, announcer. The Subcommittee on First Ladies' Activities for Presidential Inauguration hereby announces the programs for May 29, 2019 Presidential Inauguration. Interactive session of women with the First Lady. Date: Saturday, 25th May 2019. Venue: State House, Abuja. Time: 2 p.m. prompt. Children's Day Party. Date: 27th May 2019. Venue: State House, Abuja. Time: 1 p.m. prompt. Admission to these events is strictly by invitation.
This event is part of activities lined up for the Presidential Inauguration and Democracy Day Celebration 2019.
Hajia Miriam A.D. Rufai, Secretary, Committee on First Ladies' Activities for Presidential Inauguration 2019, announcer.
It's Ramadan. It's okay to share what you love. Ramadan Kareem from Indomie. Indomie Super Pack now available at 85 Naira.
Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board invites Pro-Chancellors, Chairmen of Council, Vice-Chancellors, Provosts and Rectors to the presentation of the maiden edition of the National Tertiary Admissions Performance Merit Award to be presented by His Excellency, the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Professor Yemi Oshibajo, to the 5 award-winning institutions as follows. Date: Thursday, 23rd May 2019. Venue: National Judicial Institute. Time: 3 p.m. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Announcer: JAMB.
The 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee invites the general public to the special Jumat prayers to mark the beginning of the second term of Muhammadu Buhari as President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, scheduled to hold as follows. Date: Friday, 24th May 2019. Venue: National Mosque, Abuja. Activities include Quranic recitation, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., Public lecture, 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Guest speaker, Dr. Bashir Ali Umar, Imam Al-Furqan Mosque, Kano. Topic, harnessing our diversity for peaceful coexistence and national security. Special Jumat prayer, 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Venue, National Mosque, Abuja. Prayer to be led by Professor Shehu Hamad Saeed Galadanchi, the Murshid of the National Mosque, Abuja. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Muhammad Buhari, GCFR, President, Federal Republic of Nigeria. Announcer, Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation and Chairman, 2019 Presidential Inauguration Committee.
We're glad to have you back with us on NTA News Extra tonight. And we begin with the National Assembly, from where the Senate has called on the federal and state governments to work together and produce workable strategies that will stop the increasing cases of killings in rivers and other states of the Federation. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Onkwo has more on this resolution.
Wednesday's plenary got off to an early start with senators in high spirits. But the motion by Senator Andrew Chendu, which painted a vivid picture of killings in River State, changed the tide. The fight against insecurity in any part of the country has always been one factor that unites senators from all divides.
A new twist has now been added to this sacrilegious conduct by not only killing, by beheading, but also by having the corpses burnt.
The level of activities that take place as far as oil industry is concerned in rivers is so significant that if anything affects rivers today, more than 70% of this country will be affected.
The police force has created a unit, which they call anti-cultism unit. That unit needs to be well, funded. It needs to be the personnel need to be, it needs to be well equipped.
And nobody will be caught. These people doing these things have neighbors. If you put money into the investigations, they do it within 3 days. You get one of the perpetrators.
The issue is that all any criminal issues must be taken frontally and dealt with. And the IG, as promised last time, was here, that just like other parts of the country, the issue of Rivers State also would be addressed.
Senator Shehu Sani drew the attention of the Senate to a recent gunman attack in an Ekwa church in the outskirts of Kaduna and another attack in Katsina State. Senator Ibrahim Gobir also called for more security presence in communities in Sokoto State.
Yesterday in Katsina State, where there was gunman attack in some 3 local governments, Basari, Jibia, and one other.
A situation of this nature calls for concern, and therefore there is need for the government to look at this issue and assist us.
4 bills were passed. These include the Nigerian Football Federation Bill and the Federal Audit Service Bill. Well, 8 bills from the House of Representatives received concurrence by the Senate. These include the Nigerian Council for Management Development Bill. But, well, it's very significant to know that because the life of the 8th National Assembly is coming to an end, the bills now have less than 3 weeks to be passed into law. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Onkwo, NTA News.
Now, recently, the Senate passed the Nigeria Police Repeal and Reenactment Bill, which seeks to, among other things, improve crime fighting, provide framework for police service commission, and ensure cooperation between the police and the communities. But members of the House of Representatives, while scrutinizing the bill, observed some clauses that could not be applicable. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali has the details.
The Nigeria Police Bill was forwarded from the Senate for concurrence. Among areas that contradicts the provisions of the Constitution as observed by House members include procedure for the appointments of the Inspector General of Police, State Commissioners of Police, and the number of Deputy Inspector Generals of Police. House members, while debating the Nigeria Police Bill, highlighted the observed lacuna therein.
Clause 7 of the bill talks about the appointment of the Inspector General of the Police, which will be done by the President upon the advice of the Police Council. And nothing is mentioned about confirmation by the Senate.
If you look at the military, they have a lot of GOCs, they have a lot of generals,
So in the police, they have 7 DIGs. And the bill is saying that you should reduce the number of DIGs from 7 to make it 1. Are we trying to move forward, or are we trying to come back?
How do you ordinarily want to get the consent of the state governor for the appointment of commissioner of police?
When the Speaker put forward the question for second reading of the bill, this was the response of members.
Honourable colleagues, the question is that the bill be now read a second time. Those in favour of the motion say aye. Those against it say nay. It's like the nays have it.
Other bills that made it through second reading include the Electric Power Sector Reform Bill, which seeks to prohibit the theft of electricity and vandalism of infrastructure in the sector, and bills to establish Federal University of Land Resources Technology, each in Plateau and Imo states, as moved by Representative Jerry Alagboso and Edward Pojok. Wednesday's plenary featured the passage of 6 bills, among them a bill for an act to prohibit the use, manufacture and importation of plastic bags due to their harmful effects on the environment. The lawmakers also called for urgent intervention on the incidents of burning oil fields in parts of Ondo State under the joint venture operations of NNPC and Chevron.
If immediate action is not taken, one of the longest coastline in Nigeria, which of course is in my place, with all its economic potentials, may be in jeopardy.
At the Committee of the Whole, House members considered and approved 10 reports. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The joint security operation comprising the Army, Police, DSS, Immigration and Civil Defense has arrested 20 suspects for different offences in Sokoto and Sabon Birni local government area of Sokoto State. Shehu Mohammed Datti was at the police headquarters where the team briefed the media.
11 out of the 20 suspects were arrested in Sabon Birni local government area of Sokoto State, suspected to be among those terrorizing people of the area. Other suspects were arrested at different places last week, and they are helping the operatives with useful information as investigations are still ongoing. The suspects were believed to be sneaking into Sokoto through border communities due to operatives' action in the neighboring states. The security operatives will continue tracking the nefarious activities of the bandits.
It's part of the measures for us to secure our border. Because once you have taken the security agents within the border, it means you are securing that place, nobody will enter. So that is why we can share information, and this is where we go. If any bad person, criminal doesn't know whether you are my person, he doesn't look at the face. He has a very common interest. So our borders are not porous at all.
Items recovered from the suspect include gun, axes, army uniform, Indian hemp, drugs, and items used as charms. The operatives encourage people to go about their normal businesses as safety and security of their lives and property is assured. In Sokoto, Shehu Mohammed Datti, NTA News.
Still talking security, to collaborate with critical key players for a lasting solution to security challenges facing the country, the Plateau State Governor Simon Bako Lalong, who is also the chairman Northern Governors Forum, has commenced visits to security agencies. Lalong's first port of call was the headquarters of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Abuja. Leader Samson was there and now reports.
Plateau State has had its share of security challenges. However, through an all-inclusive stakeholders collaboration, the state government was able to nip the crisis in the bud. Now, determined to bring his experience to bear on his added assignment, Governor Lalong says he decided to visit the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, one of the agencies that played a critical role in curbing the problem of security in Plateau State.
I've been given an added responsibility. I didn't know that while trying to manage the one in my state, they said you must lead the northern governors to see how to control or summon the challenges that we have, especially the insecurity that we have in the north.
For the Commandant General of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, the visit will further consolidate the existing relationship between the Corps, Plateau State and the North in general.
He has said that my agency has been doing its best to see that it brings peace to the states, two states. I want to tell him that with what he has done for us, we are going to do more. We are dedicated, we are committed, and we're putting our best to justify the confidence reposed in us.
Working in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's resolve, they have committed to whatever it takes to tackle the problem of security, as well as work with all stakeholders to find a lasting solution to the region's security issues. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Now, in keeping with its motto, onward together, the Nigerian Navy is kick-starting its 63rd anniversary celebration with a press conference to acquaint Nigerians with its operational achievements. Correspondent Najaa Tijani has the details.
Many may not realize the extent to which the Nigerian Navy defends the territorial integrity of Nigeria. And now that it is set to acquire 2 new vessels, this will further enhance maritime security in the country. Expounding some of its operations and achievements to citizens, a part of activities marking the 63rd anniversary of the Nigerian Navy.
On Friday, we're going to have the Jumat prayers, while on Sunday, on Friday the 24th, on Sunday the 26th, we're going to have the church service, which is programmed to hold in all naval commands. The medical outreaches will be conducted in all Nigerian Navy commands. The last in the series of activities lined up for the Nigerian Navy 63rd anniversary is the ceremonial sunset and awards to deserving personnel. And this will take place at the Naval Dockyard Limited in Victoria Island, Lagos, on 1st June 2019.
The Nigerian Navy fleet's sea and air platforms, which are regularly rejuvenated to meet maritime threats, will be on display in various naval commands across the country. And civilians will be given the opportunity to board some of the many sea platforms in commemoration of the anniversary. Najaa Tijani, NTA News.
Now, it was a week or two ago that one governor was commending the Nigerian Navy for its role in curbing crime in Nigeria's maritime environment. Now, if you thought that was political talk, here is practical evidence. The Nigerian Navy ship NNS Delta has paraded and handed over 22 suspects and 2 vessels to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, at its command in Warri. Eloho Egbara has the details.
Every day, Nigeria loses billions of dollars to illegal exploration of crude oil and gas. This menace has been receiving the attention of security operatives, constantly policing the creeks and the high seas to hurt the perpetrators of the untoward activities. Over the weekend, their efforts yielded another huge success, which led to the commander, NNS Delta, Commodore Ibrahim Deu, calling for the support of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, towards the prosecution process of 22 suspected illegal bunkers. The operation also led to the recovery of 2 vessels allegedly filled with illegal refined products, which were handed over to the officials of EFCC.
Let me use this opportunity also to warn and advise all individuals or persons that are involved in this nefarious act to desist from that, because the Navy will not stop from doing everything possible to sanitize our maritime domain.
Samples of the products have been taken to the laboratory and investigation has commenced. The principal superintendent, EFCC in Benin Zone, is Richard Oberega.
We are going to interview the suspects and find out the extent of involvement and how they came about these products. We'll brief you subsequently of developments as we investigation.
The Nigerian Navy says it's leaving no stone unturned in reducing the menace of illegal bunkeries in the waterways. Elo Agbra, NTA News.
A blend of 57 men and women picked from the military and government agencies have been loaded with basic knowledge on space technology, spacecraft engineering. Chimdima Ndubisi reports that it is believed that the skills will come in handy in combating insecurity and other development and challenges in the country.
Most developing countries these days are leveraging on the benefits space technology provides to solve their national challenges, especially security matters. For instance, space technology such as imagery can be used in identifying ground targets, the global positioning system for navigating weapons system on target. So is the signals intelligence used in detecting communications and telecommunications in information exchange. The infrared satellite sensors can spot missile launches, while meteorological satellites provide weather data for the military.
Give us the technology and the science we need in the field to counter all the myriads of challenges that we have as a nation.
That's exactly the knowledge Flying Officer Ayomide Stephen and 56 others have acquired at the Space Technology and Spacecraft Engineering Basic and Intermediate Training course. Officer Ayomide says he's now equipped to handle the nation's security issues, such as pipeline vandalism, insurgency and cyber crimes.
Designs of satellites. Now, I think I confidently say every participant can give an advanced design concerning their own sources. They can compete with their contemporary on a basic and intermediate stage.
We did a specific training regarding remote sensing and some of this application of space products to tackle that. So regarding remote sensing can be used to tackle some of these problems we are currently facing in the country.
The course, which lasted for 4 months, took place here at the National Space Research and Development Agency, saving the federal government millions of naira that would have been spent if the course was done outside the country. In Abuja, Chimdimma Ndubisi, NTA News.
Still to come, Minister of Aviation inaugurates new projects at Kano Airport. Do join us again.
The Honorable Minister, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, Solomon Dalun, hereby convenes the 6th meeting of the National Council on Youth Development, scheduled to hold on Friday, 24th May 2019, with Honorable Minister as chairman. Host, His Excellency Rotimi Akeredolu, Governor, Ondo State. Venue is Royal Birds Hotel and Towers, Alabaka, GRA, Akure, Ondo State. Time, 9 a.m. prompt. The meeting of the Council is to be preceded by a meeting of the Technical Committee of the Council, to be chaired by the Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development, Olushade Adeshola, with directors in the federal and state ministries in charge of youth affairs as members. Accordingly, the meeting of the Technical Committee has been scheduled to hold from Wednesday 22nd to Thursday 23rd May 2019. Announcer, Olushade Adeshola, Permanent Secretary, Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports Development.
Back for a minute to the old school. Everybody love me when I do what I do, cause when I come through I got the power of cool. The power of cool. Thank you, man.
I got from what's on? I bet some of me want malaria medicine for you.
You don't run malaria tests, so?
Of course not. I want that one when I be they buy before chloroquine.
No more before malaria medicine for here. Now confirm malaria medicine will be artemisinin-based combination therapy, ACT, where they kill malaria pata na here the same.
ACT. Like to the heart thing.
No, ACT, the one where they act for the malaria, where they live for inside our body, like person when they pay rent, come kill them, finish her one time.
You
don't go.
Yes, so if you get symptoms like fever, always test and confirm. Say you get malaria. Go ask for ACT, artemisinin-based combination therapy from your pharmacy. Now, Government of Nigeria and Rollback Malaria Partners bring you now this message. For a malaria-free Nigeria, play your part.
What's up?
His friends didn't come.
Hey, let's practice.
But you're going out.
Don't worry about me.
Nothing satisfies a mother more than seeing a child grow up. But I know as he sweats, he'll face the risk of germs which can cause skin irritation.
That's why you need the new best ever Dettol Cool. Its new advanced formulation with extra menthol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs and gives your family icy cool freshness.
Growing up needs Dettol protection.
Here you go.
Madam.
That's it. Those nails are enough.
Hi, dear.
Helen! You've got so much even after spending so little. Savings is such a necessity.
You save everywhere, but here, you lose it all.
How?
With this?
Impossible.
New Tika Apic 10X.
Even after applying up to 1 liter of your solution multiple times, you won't get the same cleaning that Apic gives you in a single round. And the expense?
Far less compared to your 1 liter of solution. New Tika Apic. Tough in cleaning, tough in savings.
Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion is making women glow with confidence. With a trusted, innovative formula containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to care for and restore the skin's natural, healthy glow. Reveal your beautiful, glowing skin with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
What is it that transforms the economies of the world? More than a nation's natural resources, it is about the quality of its people. The UAE has largely transitioned from an oil-driven economy into one that is knowledge-based. And by developing their human capital, others who have little or no natural resources have become global leaders in technology and innovation. We can also do the same. Combining modern skills with entrepreneurship development will give rise to enterprises which can increase the demand and capacity for skilled labor. Our mission at the Industrial Training Fund is to provide the knowledge and skills that can meet this demand, in recognition that this combination is the global currency of the 21st century economies. And so for us, this is what it's all about.
I thought leaving the country was the best decision for me and my future.
I left for a better life.
We were picked up by immigration officials and sent to a detention camp.
I spent 8 months in the detention camp. There was no food, no water.
I saw people being beaten like animals.
Some women were raped. Some women were sold as slaves.
I thought I would never see my loved ones again.
I have made the biggest mistake of my life.
I have wasted all my savings.
I have to start all over again.
Migration is a human phenomenon which cannot be stopped. But if we choose to migrate, we advocate that it should be done in a safe, orderly, regular, and dignified way, and not in a dangerous and tortuous manner.
This message is brought to you by the National Commission for Refugees, Migrants, and Internally Displaced Persons.
We're glad to have you back with us on the program. And time now to join Abolade Salami in our Lagos Network studio for business news. Hello there, very good evening.
Fatima, and welcome to the business news segment. The federal government is mapping out strategies to raise $140 billion to address the challenge of infrastructure deficits over the next 5 years. Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelama, stated this at a forum in Lagos.
Minister of Trade and Investment, Okechukwu Enelama, said the commitment of the government to reposition the economy for high-quality growth and infrastructural development has gulped over 3.5 trillion naira in the last 3 years. The amount, he said, was not enough to address the challenges, hence the need for collaboration with other countries.
We're trying to figure out how to raise $140 billion US that Nigeria needs, to catch up on its infrastructure deficit over the next 4 or 5 years. This is something the government is taking a very hard look at and thinking about how do we partner with, great countries like America and the Americans, as well as, other nations and other businesses around the world. The other obsession and commitment that this government has, particularly at the very top, the president
and the Vice President is this something of shared prosperity, the kind of prosperity that economists often call inclusive growth.
The inclusive growth agenda of the federal government, he emphasized, led to various economic policies aimed at driving ease of doing business and boost foreign direct investment in the country.
The decision by the Monetary Policy Committee of the Central Bank of Nigeria to hold monetary policy rate at 13.50%, while other parameters remained unchanged, has been described as healthy for the economy. President, Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, Uche Olowu, said the uptick in April's inflation figures, as well as sentiments at the macroeconomic and financial environment, coupled with the uncertainty in the global oil markets, formed part of the committee's decision.
And I have not seen any drastic change of fundamentals that will further warrant reduction in the interest rate. So to that extent, it's expected that they, keep the various rates at its. So I think it wasn't unexpected, so to say. Because the monetary authorities are watching it, every day and looking at how they can manage it. Because price stability and money stability is very critical. How you took the policy, you must be very careful. But what is before the monetary policy authorities is clear. I believe, and I want to also have that mindset, that they just don't want to inflict pain on. They are doing everything possible to making sure that the challenges before us are tackled headlong.
The need for deposit money banks to lend to the real sector in order to engender economic growth. And now let's cross over to the stock market. The Nigerian equities market has retained its uptick performance in the last 3 trading sessions of the week. Here are details of midweek trading.
And now stock market. At the close of Wednesday's trading, the market appreciated by 3.07% to close the all-share index at 31,145.15 basis points. Volume of shares traded were 294 million, valued at 17.4 billion naira, which was traded at 4,835 deals, and a market capitalization of 13.7 trillion naira. Dangote Cement, MTN Nigeria, and GlaxoSmith finished in the green line. On sectoral performance, only NSE Industrial came out strong, appreciating by 4.5%, while NSE Banking, NSE Consumer Goods, NSE Insurance, and NSE Oil and Gas depreciated in figures by 2.67%, 3.57%, 0.50%, and 0.27%.
That's a wrap on business news. It's back to Fatima in Abuja for the continuation of the news. Good evening.
Many thanks, Abalade. Now, to improve the quality of service delivery as well as promote transparency in microfinancing, the Self-Reliant Economic Advancement Program, SEEP, has launched its digital Android platform in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital. The Executive Program Director, SEEP, Dr. Oladokun Olatunde, underscores the relevance of digitization in the sustainability of microfinancing and revolving loan scheme in the country. Funke Ibidamito has the details.
After almost 20 years of existence, SEEP Microfinance Institution today boasts of over 600,000 active savers and borrowers across the country. With this growing population, the need to step up transparency, accountability, and ease of payment and repayment in the disbursement of loans becomes imminent, hence the launch of the digital Android device.
With the digital microfinance, it saves costs and it keeps the savings of the members, and it gives a good transparency of the microfinance activities. And that is the reason why SEEP decided to pick up this digital microfinance as a best way for transparency, best way to save people's savings and best way to dislodge the members from multiple loans.
Key players and active participants engaged in business with the SIP Microfinance Institution could not agree less, describing it as a right step in the right direction.
It's very good for us, so it will be useful.
With branches spread across 23 states of the Federation, SIP Microfinance Institution, which is dedicated to economic empowerment, capacity building, improvement of socio-economic condition of the poor through the promotion of SMEs, is blazing the trail in the era of digitization in microfinancing. In Ibadan, Funke Bidamiton, NTA News.
Now, I'm sure you know the saying that if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Apparently, the Cross River State government is also a believer creating equitable, and it is also aware that economic development and growth in the Niger Delta region is a responsibility which cannot be left in the hands of the federal government alone. And so, the state government organized a summit aimed at setting a strategic direction and partnership towards attracting the much-needed investments for job opportunities and wealth creation. Uduak Etim will now tell us more about that.
Cross River State, being one of the Niger Delta states, has had its own fair share of economic challenges. However, to create a turnaround and ensure sustainable development, the government recently pledged host to several stakeholders to synergize on transforming the state and the Niger Delta region as a whole.
This summit will open up new investment to complement our existing efforts in agriculture.
Partners, including the Foundation for Partnership Initiative in the Niger Delta, PIND, with interventions across the 9 states of the Niger Delta, joined in developing a 30-year growth and development strategy, GDS, which was launched at the summit. The GDS, which employed an inclusive and participatory approach, has been fashioned to be a long-term strategic plan with 10 thematic areas, including agriculture, infrastructure, energy, and tourism.
Our youth project that we're doing along with Ford Foundation is helping to chart new pathways for the Niger Delta youth to be able to become more sustaining on their own and to be able to create pathways to income and employment.
Beyond the launch of the GDS, a panel discussion themed Partnership and Inclusive Growth Opportunities for Cross River State harped on interstate integration within the Niger Delta region. In Calabar, Uduak Etam, NTA News.
The presidency has ordered the immediate clearance of the Apapa gridlock and the restoration of law and order in the port and its environs within 2 weeks. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laolua Konde, the directive mandated the immediate removal of all tracks from the bridges or roads within Apapa and all adjoining streets leading into the axis. Infrastructural development in any nation often comes with its gains and losses. While the facilities are there to uplift the living standard of the people and open up doors for economic growth, houses, lands, and economic trees are lost in the process. Chinyere Okoye tells us that this can be said to be the case of MNA people, the landlords of Akanu Ibiam International Airport, Enugu, who are expected to forfeit more of their assets to pave way for further expansion of the airport and to ensure maximum safety of flights. A report.
The Akanu Ibiam International Airport Enugu was first inaugurated as a full airport in October 1976 and was upgraded to International Airport in 2011. However, there has been clamor for the expansion of its runway and upgrading of some of its facilities. To achieve this, some structures around the airport will have to be relocated to ensure safety of air passengers. Just last week, one of the local flights already airbound to Abuja had to make an emergency U-turn 15 minutes after takeoff due to airstrike occasioned by birds, which reports gathered were from the nearby abattoir. This situation and indeed many others necessitated the warning by the Minister of State for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, for the Enugu State government to, as a matter of urgency, relocate the structures or risk downgrading of the airport.
I'm also sure and happy to announce to you that even the Honorable Minister has come on air immediately to say he is satisfied that Enugu is already taking all the necessary measures to ensure that that airport is not shut down.
Different strokes, they say, for different folks. That is the story of those affected by the proposed demolition who are already bearing their pains. They include a 72-year-old widow, Veronica Arum Ngene, an indigene of Emene, whose house is marked, and traders at Oyemene who are worried over the loss of their shelter and sources of livelihood.
We don't know where to carry our property. Around this place we are seeing now is where we train our pigs. Some of us borrowed money from bank.
But we are still happy. Let there be international airport.
For now, Oyemene market has been shut down while socio-economic activities around the market will continue to suffer until the state government comes up with a workable plan that will favor both traders and visitors to the market. From Oyemene, Enugu East Local Government Area in Enugu State, Chinyere Okoye, NTA News.
The infrastructural train transversing the nation's aviation sector has birth in Kano, where the Minister of Aviation, Hadi Sirika, says the new international wing of the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, initiated by previous administration, will be ready for inauguration in 7 months. The minister made this known while inaugurating the new General Aviation Terminal and other projects at the airport. Mansur Aliyu Hassan completes the report.
Malam Aminu Kano International Airport is one of the beneficiaries of the over 150 projects in the aviation sector to revive the nation's airport to meet international standard. To this end, over 130 of such projects have successfully been completed, with many being inaugurated. This inauguration of the General Aviation Terminal at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport by the Minister of State Aviation Hadi Sirika is in line with the global best practice in the aviation sector, with a view to accommodate chartered aircrafts and process their air travel matters. The facility will equally complement the airport's overstretched domestic terminal due to increasing number of passengers.
In Kano, we've done a lot. A few of them, for example, under NIMET, we commissioned the regional office, which will serve the 7 northwestern states. Under AIB, we've also commissioned the AIB office, which will also serve this zone.
Other facilities installed at Makia include Instrument Landing System, ILS, as well as the Very High Frequency Omnidirectional Radio Range, otherwise known as Doppler, which is a specialized radar to produce data about objects at a distance. In Kano, Mansur Aliyu Hassan, NTA News.
And from the Aminu Kano International Airport in Lagos, we take you to the Murtala Mohammed Airport in Lagos, where flight operations were uninterrupted in spite of the strike embarked upon by staff of the Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA.
This is the headquarters of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority in Lagos, reflecting an unusual atmosphere due to the strike embarked upon by the workers. Their demand, among other things, include implementation of a new organogram designed in 2016.
As I speak to you, there are over 50 assistant general manager offices that have been abolished under the new approved organogram, not to talk of deputy general managers and general manager offices.
We need a board for this agency. We don't see the need
all the rationality in running to the ministry every time we need something to be done.
Although there are plans to address their grievances, the General Manager, Public Relations, is worried that the union did not follow due process.
For you to declare a lockout, a trade dispute, you first of all give 21-day notice. If it is not resolved within that, you declare 14 days thereafter. But in this case, NCA Manuel was given 7 days, by which there is no room to even look at what they are saying and take it up.
As at the time of filing this report, flight operations were uninterrupted, but however, there are some concerns.
There are operators who would have approached NCA classically to get clearance for flights. They can't get it because the department that is in charge of flight clearance is shut down.
The aggrieved workers are therefore appealing for prompt intervention from the federal government. In Lagos, Michael Olaleye, NTA News.
In the meantime, the matters that led to picketing of the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority by protesting unions have been resolved. The resolutions were reached in Abuja at the instance of the Minister of State for Aviation, Hadi Sirika, who invited the leadership of the 4 unions from Lagos. Both parties have agreed to review the organogram, which is one of the contending issues, within 7 days.
We had very rich deliberations, mutual deliberations, I can say. We've agreed, we've reached certain understandings between us, which we believe would resolve the issue. I must say that we are satisfied. We are returning to Lagos tomorrow. We'll brief our members. Thereafter, we will announce the suspension of the strike.
The salaries and wages, which is outside our purview, I have agreed, I have volunteered tomorrow to go myself to salaries and wages to please expedite, ask them to rush the process of approving the condition of service.
Issues bordering on non-inauguration of governing board of NCAA was also discussed. National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons distributes more relief materials to the internally displaced persons in Kogi State. These are more after the break.
It's Ramadan. It's okay to share what you love. Ramadan Kareem from Indomie. Indomie Super Pack now available at 85 Naira.
Ever since he could hold a bat, Charles wanted to play like his big brother. Victor had skills that matched the best in the land. Never mind, little brother. Drink your Dano milk and keep practicing. So that is what he did. And step by step, glass by glass, the boy grew in spirit and strength. Drink your Dano milk and be strong.
Also available in Dano Cool Cow, Dano Slim, and Dano Flavored Milk. Choose Dano. Choose goodness.
Hey, handsome. What's the plan?
Give me 40 bottles, man. When you're on the star side, you're on the brighter side. Make you no go dull and come to the brighter side.
Nivea Natural Fairness Body Lotion is making women glow with confidence. With a trusted, innovative formula containing unique berry extracts and UV protection to care for and restore the skin's natural, healthy glow. Reveal your beautiful, glowing skin with Natural Fairness Body Lotion from Nivea.
Extraordinary could be right there in front of you without you even knowing it. It's something unique, rich and rewarding, full of character. A bold expression of flavor like no other. Discover extraordinary flavor. Guinness, made of more.
You're welcome back. This is still NTA News Extra, reaching you live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. President Muhammadu Buhari has emphasized that he respects the country's judiciary and is willing to abide by its decision at all times. Speaking at an iftar dinner with a representative of the third arm of the government, the judiciary, Wednesday evening, the president expressed the belief that the judiciary should be independent. He recalled how he submitted himself to the adjudication of the courts 3 times on his way to becoming president without any fuss because of his respect for the institution. He praised the capabilities of Nigerian judges, saying their training and experience has earned them respect. In his remarks of appreciation, the acting Chief Justice of Nigeria, Justice Ibrahim Tanko Mohammed, who led retired Chief Justices, some Justices of the Supreme Court and heads of courts in the Federal Capital Territory, assures the nation that the judiciary will continue to do its best in safeguarding the country's judiciary. He praised President Buhari for not meddling in the affairs of the courts in the country. The Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, is strategizing on the best approach to traffic management on busy routes across the country. Corps Marshal Boboye Oyeyemi, at a meeting in Lagos with top management from the Western Zone, underscored the need for right application of modern mechanism in addressing the situation.
Lagos-Ibadan Express Road is one of 5 corridors the Federal Road Safety Corps is focusing on due to traffic challenges. Abuja-Kaduna, Abuja-Lokoja, Abuja Metropolis, and Ore-Bini-Enugu are the others under surveillance led by corridor commanders. The meeting in Lagos is not only assessing the situation, but it's examining new methods to traffic management nationwide.
Instead of people facing oncoming traffic, taking multiple lanes, you see, if there's diversion and everybody complies, within 20 minutes addition, you'll get out. But when everybody is in a haste to get out, then that is the basis of this gridlock we're experiencing. I need to buy more radar guns. Is in my budgetary provision this year. More radar guns. I need to deploy more bikes to ensure speed is controlled. Those are the part of the things we are discussing. What next after the road construction is a big task for me.
Zonal commanders from Lagos and Osogbo, as well as sector commanders from Ogun, Oyo, and Lagos states were in attendance.
Traffic management on this corridor, the
Corps Marshal emphasized, requires the cooperation of the motoring public, particularly at the diversion points where construction work is ongoing. In Lagos, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
Special court sitting in honor of the late Olowo of Owo, and sports update after the break. Stay with us.
They are there at the crack of dawn. They are there busy preparing while we rise for our day. They are there silently, guarding, waiting, listening, and watching. They are there ready in the sky above and the waters below, in the blistering heat of the day, in the dead of night, willing, indefatigable, determined in the defense of the sovereignty of our country. They are our first line of defense and our last. They who have paid the ultimate price in defending us. They are fathers and uncles. They are mothers and sisters and girlfriends and boyfriends. They are brothers and cousins and best friends and neighbors. They are classmates, colleagues, and citizens of this nation. They are our defenders and deserve our respect, our prayers, our thoughts. Nigeria, please support our armed forces.
Extraordinary could be right there in front of you, without you even knowing it. It's something unique, rich and rewarding, full of character. A bold expression of flavor like no other. Discover extraordinary flavor. Guinness, made of more.
Thank you for staying with us. A special court sitting has been held at the Akure High Court in honor of the Olowo of Owo, late Oba Folagbade Olateru Olagbegi. Olubukola Aduwon reports that speakers of the special sitting, including the Ondo State Governor, Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, gave glowing tributes to the late monarch as an erudite legal practitioner and a royal father.
It was a well-attended court sitting where his colleagues and students in the legal profession eulogized him for his contributions as a bencher and teacher of law.
We enjoy the maximum cooperation and support from the highly respected royal father, and this is highly appreciated. Apart from his generous contribution to bar activities in our Cabinet, he was renowned for regular payment of his partnership fees and local dues.
We rejoice because he left good legacy.
We want to follow him in terms of his character and his integrity.
At a funeral service held in honor of the late monarch, dignitaries including the Senate President, Senator Bukola Saraki, said the legal profession and indeed the traditional institution in Nigeria have lost one of his leading lights.
He has contributed so much, and also his period as KBSC has also brought a new trend into this level of governance.
Born 26 June 1941, late Oba Folagbade Olateru Olagbegi was a legal luminary and teacher who rose to become the institution secretary of the Nigerian Law School, Lagos. He was appointed the 31st Olowo of Owo 20 years ago. Oba Folagbade Olateru Olagbegi, until his death, was the chairman governing council of the University of Abuja, former chairman, Ondo State Council of Traditional Rulers and Chiefs. His subjects say he was a great lover of peace, a humanist whose reign witnessed massive development of our kingdom. In Akure, Olubukola Aduwon, NTA News.
The Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Metronet Communications Limited to support the media outfit with its rich content gathered over the years. Tamara Ibiwi has that report.
The Memorandum of Understanding signed by the Nigerian Television Authority signals the commencement of a partnership that will see NTA feed Metronet Communications Limited
with her rich content from the archives, as she prides herself as the largest television network in Africa.
You can be in the same market, you can be in the same business, and still have a very healthy competition. And you still work together and learn from each other.
As a new and budding television station, is to partner with the largest television network in Africa, that's the NTA, and collaborate, especially in the areas of content sharing, so that we can be able to build on the experiences of NTA.
The Jos-based Unity Television is a free-to-air channel on StarTime's platform. In Abuja, Tamara Ebiwe, NTA News.
And more sports news. The FIFA Under-20 World Cup kicks off Thursday in Poland, with Nigeria's Flying Eagles among the 24 teams hoping to win the title. Correspondent Oche Mbede reports on Flying Eagles' preparation in their attempt to win the elusive trophy.